The original film was shot between October 1961 and closure in April 1962. We begin at Mould Station, where a Stania 264 tank is about to leave with a two-coach non-corridor set. One mile out, and we pass Synthite Limited, a chemical manufacturer with its own simplex shunter. Cryddermuir Station became the terminus of the line when it closed to passenger traffic. Here the line crossed the Mould to Denby Road on the level. After Dalveclas crossing, we pass Hendra Siding, controlling access to a limestone quarry, material from which was used in the construction of Britain's first motorway, the Preston Bypass, of 1959. After a couple of lumps of coal are thrown out from the engine for the permanent waymen, we arrive at Star Crossing. At 18 miles from Chester, we have just crossed the summit of the line. There was no shelter on the downside platform. Most trains stopped here, even though the nearest habitation of any worth was over 2 miles away at Kilcombe. The standard Class 4 has a 3-coach non-corridor set in tow, only the centre coach having a lavatory compartment. The level crossing gates were hand-operated, a 2-lever frame controlling the up and down signals. A mile from Star Crossing was Nunnock, close to the A541 Mould to Denby Road. A Saturday lunchtime train arrives at Nunnock from Mould. The station building included the station master's house and was reached through an avenue of trees from the Mould to Denby Road. On closure of the line, the station buildings were privately purchased, completely renovated and landscaped, only to be compulsorily purchased and demolished to make way for road improvements. Such is progress. The small goods yard at the Mould end of the station served a local coal merchant. A small shed was provided for a goods store. The lunchtime train waits hopefully for custom before departing for Denby. There was an LNWR platform-mounted 8-lever frame operated by the porter signalman, which controlled 4 points and signals. As a standard Class 2 arrives with a Denby train, we see the siding branching off into the cattle dock. The rural countryside of Wales is seen as we head for Colourized, avoiding sheep on the line near the outer home signal. A Class 2 arrives past the one-time ironworks. The downside platform had a waiting shelter typical of the line. The main buildings were on the upside. A Denbigh-bound train is seen from the siding on the upside, with a crane used for loading timber from a yard here and still in business today, albeit transport is by road now. More sheep escape a premature end as we approach Bodvarry. Bodvarry was 3.5 miles from Denbigh and opened in September 1869. A train for Denbigh arrives under the road bridge, which was removed for road improvements in the 1970s. The token for Denbigh is given up. There was some commuter traffic to Mold and Denbigh right up to closure. The porter signalman goes to the up platform where an 8-lever LNWR frame was situated, illuminated when necessary by an oil lamp. The single-line token instrument for Denbigh was in the station office. Viewed from a down train, we see the obligatory waiting shelter. The station house is today a private dwelling. Leaving Bodvarry, the track was straight for 2 miles, climbing at 1 in 109 up to Blue Hand Bridge, which carried the road to St Asaph. One of Mold Junction's sheds at 4Fs heads for Denbigh under the bridge. The line had been singled in 1957, leaving the up line in situ. At Denbigh Junction we ran alongside the single line from Thrill. The junction was removed on singling the line from Bodvarry. Therefore, there are 2 parallel single lines as far as the new Denbigh station box, opened in 1957, where we give up the token from Bodvarry and arrive in the bay platform. Notice the gas lamps on the platform. A 264 tank arrives at the main platform used for trains to Ruthin. The engine takes water. Behind the column was Denbigh No. 2 signal box, in use until 1957. The bridge over Vale Street had a road clearance of 13 feet 6 inches and was taken out after damage by a road vehicle in May 1971. We continue to Ruthin via Colourized and Ruthin. Ruthin station was 5 miles from Denby. It lost its passenger traffic in 1962. We arrive at Ruthin with a reasonably sized goodyard, the area now covered by a craft centre, although the yard crane survives, preserved in situ there. The line continued to Corwin past Railway Terrace. The track bed, with the cutting filled in, is now a footpath. This section closed to all traffic in 1962, having lost its local services in 1953. We returned to Denby and Mould along this former Denby, Ruthin and Corwin line, absorbed by the LNWR in 1879. At Colourized station, both up and down trains pass without stopping, for the station was closed in 1953. A crossing keeper was still employed, however, for the minor road from Pentre Colourized to Llandurnog and Llanynys. Leaving Denby, we diverge on the Mould line at Denby Junction, the line to Rhyl via St Asaph, going off to the left. A freight train from Mould is followed by a passenger train from Denby, curving away towards Bodferry. Approaching Bodferry in 1962, just before closure. Bodferry station is still standing as a private dwelling. It is seen after closure and one line lifted. Next station is Cairns, where a Denby-bound train is passed. A 6-coach train approaches Nanak under the road bridge serving the village. The view from the bridge shows the A541 road to Mould. On past Nanak and Star Crossing. We are bound for Chester, passing Henry Sidings. After Mould, we are on the original Mould Railway Company line to Saltney Ferry, opened in 1849 and absorbed by the LNWR in 1858.